President of International Maharaj Jain Mission, commonly known as Jain Ashram. This is almost 50-year-old institution. It's the oldest institution in Europe. It was instigated by late Acharya Sushil Muniji Maharaj, who was the first Jain monk to go abroad. It's my pleasure and indeed an honor to meet Jain Putra Dyan Maharaj in person in Pune, in India. Maharaj, namastu, namastu, namastu. Thank you very much for giving your valuable time to talk to me at such a short notice. I would be grateful if you could answer some of the following questions from me for the benefit of Jain community in Birmingham and UK. Maharaj, पहले तो आप ये बताइए, tell me briefly about your background and journey of life to this stage. I understand that you are born in a non-Jain family. What attracted you to Jain faith?
The main thing that attracted us was peace. We just came in search of peace, and that incident was somewhat like this, that we were very fond of nature and animals and birds since childhood, and one of our pets, that was a little squirrel, after 5 years of its age, it expired because its age was by nature 5 years, and that created a void in our life, a sort of vacuum. Everything was just out of link. The whole life seemed disrupted, and we thought that relationships are so deep, not only with human beings but also with animals and birds, that we are so shaken by it. Is there any way to get liberated from all these bondages? That question arises within us. And our family was an academic family, and many books were already in our cabinet. So we just searched for some solution to this inquiry, this query, and ultimately we found one book that was of some discourses by Jinendra Varniji, and that book was named Shantipat Darshan. The third edition was called Shantipat Darshan. The rest editions are Shantipat Pradarshan. But coincidentally, we got Shantipat Darshan, not Pradarshan. So we just looked at its pages and just read that chapter, which was named Moksha Tattva, the essence of salvation, liberation. And when we read that, we, for the first time after that incident, we felt peace within us, and then we started from the beginning to the end. And when we reached the last page, everything was crystal clear, and we thought that this is our path.
Thank you. Next question is, the Jain population is not growing in comparison with other faiths. Mixed marriages are also having a big impact on this. What should be done to sustain our existence?
this problems needs a solution that can be searched by householders, because the people, the saints or the lesser saints who have sacrificed their worldly life, they cannot involve themselves in these matters. But still, if according to the scriptures you make an outline for all the society, and if they read all the purusharthas which have been mentioned in our scriptures, like Niti Vakyamrit, Sagar Dharmamrit, etc., there are many scriptures that guide the householders how to continue their generation. You can find the solution from those scriptures.
My main concern, to continue with that, is many Jain people are following other sects like Sai Baba, Shri Shri, Ravi Shankar Ji and many others, instead of going to the Jain sadhus or Jain temple. Surely there's a role to be played by sadhu and sadhvijis and community, Jain community leaders. So what would you advise there?
This is the next question. Is this question connected to the previous one?
It's all connected, but only
the previous question was how to sustain the generation.
Yes.
But this question is that
the numbers.
The society is moving out of
Our
the
domain.
religious domain. Ultimately, our mind is the final decision maker in everybody's life. So if from the beginning the parents and the grandparents maintain a company with saints, etc., then it is possible that they do not deviate from the original way of life. Company. But still you can ask in this context that the company of social media is so strong that if they even come to the sadhus, they may deviate.
They do. So anything sadhu, sadhvis can do to have lesser effect of society outside and media, how can they attract our people? How can they make it more easier? Because if I remember my own childhood, to understand Jain is very difficult. It's always said, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that, which is very negative.
It is not like that, don't do that, this or that. Actually, do this and do that is more positive approach.
That.
We have to just mold our younger generation from childhood to the youth, and then after that the wisdom develops within people by itself, and they will by themselves know what is wrong or right. And we cannot just name wrong or right also. It is just a choice.
This is a 40th anniversary celebration with Jain Ashram in Birmingham. And you can see from the picture, this is Sushil Muni Maharaj, the first Jain
Yeah, right.
sadhu who
word.
went there
Right.
abroad. And then we are welcomed and blessed by Acharya Tulsi Ji, whose Acharya is Maharaj Ji now.
Okay.
Vidyasagar Ji, this was the Dirapancha Ji. This is Mandar Margi Stambar, Nityanand Ji, Sri Bhadrachandra Ji. So we try to, in Jain Ashram, try to put all these sects together.
Right.
So if I say that our motto has been always to cater for all sects of Jain and create one Jain. I'm not saying that we should dilute the Gambar, Stambar, Therapantha, no. We are saying one Jain. Within that, we should be allowed to do what we want to.
Okay.
But we should not differentiate in that you are senior or we are inferior, superior. We shouldn't fight. We're all one Jain. If that was the policy, then things like Simal Shekhar Ji, we have a problem, Ganadi, that won't happen. We seem to be fighting on each other. Who do you give that responsibility to? I personally think Jain Sadhu and Sadhvis have a lot of role to play in it.
Of course.
Because it's like they're having their own shop. Or don't go there. I've experienced that. Why do you go there?
Right.
Well, I personally, and the motive of this is that we are one Jain community, followers of Mahavir Swami or Adinath Bhagavan. 24th. What difference does it make whether Mahavir Swami got married or had daughter or not? It's irrelevant. We seem to be concentrating on these small things rather than what did he teach us.
Right.
So, last year we managed to add the Digambar temple to Jain Ashram. So it has become a complete institution of all Jain sects under one umbrella called Jain Ashram.
Right.
Ashram is where you go and go for protection or whatever. And that's what nobody is inferior, nobody is superior. As I said before, one of the family in London, the Kalria family, which is also my sister's in-laws, originally from Nagpur, they had a temple at home. They donated to us. So we actually included that in there last year. And then we had two murtis donated by two of our Digambar brothers who took the murtis from Jaipur especially and with Vidhi, with the Shastri Ji, actually uski sthapana karne. People, lot more people are coming. They're doing puja, part, whenever they can. Certainly every weekend, sometime in the holidays. I don't think you'll find a platform anywhere in the world where on one stage you'll find Stambar and Digambar Murti on the same. Am I right?
We have seen from the childhood that at Bhilai Sector 6,
Hanji.
there are both in the same room of the temple.
Not same room, I'm talking on the same baby.
Oh,
Just example of
okay.
What I'm saying is, these were the four that you had. Now, the two murtis that came, we put one Parshanath Bhagavan next to it, another one on this side, on same platform. Addition to that, this temple which we had that dedicated Parshanath Digambar temple, which is just Digambar in there. So that's on time. We also got Sri Bhadrachandra.
All of them are Parshanath Bhagavan?
No, not all of them. These were four different. We had Adinath Bhagavan, Shantinath Bhagavan, Mahavir Swami and Parshanath. This is what we had four. The two new, which came from Kalria family, that's a Parshanath Mandir. So both those photos are Parshanaths. The three murti which we had now in the Digambar temple next to it, I'll show you the photo in a minute. And that is one Shantinath, one Mahavir Swami and one Parshanath. Those three are dedicated and वो कहते हैं ना जिसको रिचुअल के साथ उसको स्थापना की. तो मेरा कहने का मतलब है कि if I can do it, people you done this. Your Parshanath, your television है, उस पर भी हमारा ये न्यूज़ आया था. तो मेरा पॉइंट कहने का ये है कि वहाँ तो हमने कर दिया है. एग्जाम्पल तक क्या थी? Sadly, in India, I still find our community is very divided. दिगंबर है, स्तंभर है, मंदिर मार्गी है, तेरापंथी है, स्थानिकवासी है. So my question to you, Maharaj, is what is being done or should be done by sadhu, sadhvis, other people to unite our community while keeping our differences, so that our enemy, if you like, is not us Jain, it's the non-Jain who are trying to erode our dharmic sanstha, taking over and making us insignificant. That is my concern. What is being done? What should be done?
The answer is simple, that the highest authorities of saints may come on one platform, and when their devotees will see that they are uniting, automatically nothing else is required for them to unite.
I fully agree with you. I asked the same question to Mahaprabhuji, Acharya Mahaprabhuji, Theravada. I said, Maharaj, why don't you unite all this? And what he said was, Acharya Tulsiji tried very hard
Right.
to unite, bring all Jain sects on one platform, but failed. Now it's much more difficult because there's far too many acharyas now than there were 20 years ago. How do we bring them together? So my question is still,
We have to just arise the spirit of unity within their hearts, and if this gets possible, then the next step will be, of course, possible.
how do we start that? Who has to start that? Where should this initiative come from?
We can just get them acquainted with the pros and cons and the benefits and losses of unity. And you are just allowing them to follow their own path, but just following their own path along with unity. Maybe many sadhus will agree with this, perhaps.
So should this initiative come from people, Shravak like us, or should it come from sadhus?
Both.
I think, yes, both are an important part, but somebody has to start. I think Anisha, they should come from the top. Should they not? The top sadhu sant जो हैं, acharyas हैं, 8, 10, 20 जो भी हैं, they should get together and say, look, आपने कपड़े पहने हैं, मत पहन लीजिए, मुंह पट्टी लगाइए, ठीक है, आप वो है, मत भी हम महावीर के स्वामी के हम तब शिष्य हैं, यहाँ तक अब सरदार लोग हैं, मुसलमान लोग, जब उनके सब इकट्ठे हो जाते हैं.
Recently, our Guruji, Acharya Vidyasagar Maharaj, had stated in his own discourse, when he was asked that what should we Jain people do about Shikharji, he said, just unite. Just one word.
Yes, that's what I mean. I can see.
बस.
महाराज मैं एक छोटा सा शादी को मैं समझ सकता हूँ. ये साधु संत जो आप आचार्य महाप्रज्ञा जी की बात कर रहे हो, उनके शिष्य की महाशय की विद्यासागर जी की, अपने शिव मुनि जी, बड़े बड़े जो आचार्य हैं, उनको नहीं पता. Why don't they talk to each other? मेरा जी है, शुरू होता है फिर रुक जाता है, शुरू होता है. मैं कई सालों से इस आश्रम में 18 दिन के पीछे बनाता हूँ. ना 8 मेरे, ना 10 आपके, 18. क्यों नहीं सब जगह ये हो रहा है? एग्जाम्पल मैं क्यों सेट कर रहा हूँ? मैं इनसिग्निफिकेंट, किसी को पता नहीं, कोई जानता नहीं है. और ये सब बड़े होकर कहें कि अपने एक प्लेट पर होना है, तो मैं कहता हूँ जो डीपर प्रॉब्लम है वो ऊपर है, नीचे नहीं है. इसलिए मैं कह रहा हूँ ऊपर से आना चाहिए.
That is of course right.
तो उसको देखिए अभी श्रीमत से अभी रीसेंट प्रॉब्लम
To initiate this perspective, you can start from all those sadhus who have name and fame and power and influence, because they will influence more people.
पर उनको कौन इन्फ्लुएंस करे? सारे लोगों को आपस में प्रॉब्लम ये है। मैं तो जाता हूँ, उनको कहता हूँ, वो मानते हैं। अब साधु लोग आपस
जो
में
बड़े बड़े हैं वो एक हो जाएं तो सब हो सकता है।
डेलीगेशन लाइक दैट।
3 साल पहले दिल्ली में वो एक भगवान महावीर देशना का उन्होंने फाउंडेशन बनाई थी। 2 साल उन्होंने 18 दिन के लिए ट्यूशन किए। इस साल नहीं हुआ। क्यों नहीं हुआ? पूछ रहा हूँ उनको भी कहाँ है। मैं इंग्लैंड से बैठा हूँ, उनको सपोर्ट कर रहा हूँ। कुछ ना कुछ तो प्रॉब्लम आई होगी ना। उसमें काफी पॉपुलर साधु थे, उसमें आए, फिर क्यों नहीं आगे बढ़ी बात?
The orthodox thought pattern always interferes with this unity.
जैसे महाराज आप मतलब उसका सोल्यूशन हमें जल्दी ढूंढना है, वरना हमारा इनाइलेशन हो जाएगा। नाम वो किताबों में लोग पढ़ेंगे भी जैन धर्म होता था, वो टाइम दूर नहीं है। महावीर स्वामी ने कह रहे हैं हमारा जो ये आ रहा है वो तो अभी 20,000 पता नहीं क्या पड़ा है। मुझे लग रहा है कि आपने तो 200 साल के अंदर खत्म हो जाएगा। मैं आपको पर्सनल एग्जांपल देता हूँ। मेरे 3 बच्चे हैं, तीनों की शादी नॉन जैन से हुई है। 2 जो बेटी हैं वो बाहर गई तो उसका धर्म फॉलो करेगी। जो मेरे घर में मेरी बहू आएगी बेटे की, वो अपना धर्म लेकर आएगी। हम इधर कह रहे हैं ना उधर कह रहे हैं, क्या करें? ये तो इंग्लैंड की बात है, बाहर की बात कर। आपको यहाँ ये हो रहा है, इंडिया में हो रहा है। जब इंडिया के बच्चों से बात करता हूँ, ये कहते अंकल आप क्या दिमाग खराब कर रहे हैं? आप इंग्लैंड में बैठे सब बड़ा सोचो, क्या क्या जैन धर्म की बातें कर रहे हैं? ये मुझे सुनना पड़ता है। जहाँ ब्राइट बच्चे कई हैं, वो कहते हैं हाँ हम जाते हैं प्रयोशर के साथ जाते हैं। एक जहाँ दूसरी तरफ ये छोटे बच्चे इतना ब्रेन वॉश कर दिया कि मंदिर जाने के बिना में खाना नहीं खाना। कुछ सीखते नहीं, वो क्या सिखाते हैं? अरे महावीर स्वामी की मां कौन थी, बहन कौन थी, क्या लेना देना उससे हमें? महावीर ने क्या कहा है? क्या हम वो समझ रहे हैं? क्या हम वो जी रहे हैं? इंपॉर्टेंट बातों को हमने नीचे लगा दिया है। आलू नहीं खाने, प्याज नहीं खाना, उसी में हम लगे हुए हैं। वो हम मीट शराब पी रहे हैं, हम मीट खा रहे हैं, हम आलू में पकड़े हुए हैं, आलू प्याज में। क्या क्या लगता है?
If science and mathematics is combined with our religious concepts, and most of our Jainism is scientific and mathematical. If from this view, if the religion is presented before the public, the modern minded people will accept it. For example, we can take Namokar mantra. One of your scientists had come here at our Chaturmas place, Shivaji Road, Shivaji Nagar.
हाँ, सेनापति बापट रोड,
सेनापति बापट,
वर्धमान कॉम्प्लेक्स कुछ था।
वर्धमान प्रतिष्ठान.
हाँ.
He was perhaps Shwetambar Jain, and he had come from Ahmedabad, and he had brought some instruments with him, and he showed demo before the whole audience and public, and he said that how Namokar mantra affects your thoughts and your energies. And he had 2 or more appliances or instruments, and he just called someone from the public and said that be seated here in the chair. When he was seated, he just measured all the energies, and when he said that your solar energy is down because it is showing black color in that computer, so what should you do now? And this is an instrument. This does not understand any religion. It has been just generated by the scientists.
It's a machine.
So what should we do? So let us try one experiment. And he just requested the public to recite Namo Lohe Sarvasamanam, just this one part for 9 times. And when the public recited Namo Lohe Sarvasamanam, Namo Lohe Sarvasamanam, he added Om Hrim also. After 9 recitals, he again put that machine at his navel place, solar chakra. And now on the screen, the color was absolutely transformed from black to blue. Blue means healthy. And that the public saw and they just accepted it. Because today's generation accepts something which has been proven. The earlier generation would accept it through faith. And these people need proof.
Evidence, yeah. I'll give you the example. When I ask my grandmother any question, you know the answer? How dare you ask me? Your mother never asked this question. I didn't like it then, but later on realized she didn't know the answer herself. So the only way she could say that put me off. Now, 2-year-old, 3-year-old child says, why? As you said, you've got to give them the evidence, show them the evidence. So all these are, why are we not doing anything about it? And this experiment you mentioned, why are we not publicizing it? Why is not research being done?
They are publicizing it, but the level is so limited.
Narrow, limited.
That it cannot reach every people.
Could that be due to lack of money, resources, or vision?
That is not clear to us, that what is the cause of that.
Okay.
So people are also interested in some other things rather than these things. Because Richard Bach, you have heard the name of one author, Richard Bach.
Richard Bach, yeah.
He's from America. And he says that in our whole life, people just do two things. One, they do things for fun, and number 2, they do things for knowledge. Everything
is around that.
Is around these 2 things, these 2 factors. So, fun-loving people are increasing, and knowledge-loving people are decreasing. Perhaps this may be the cause.
Knowledge भी 2 टाइप की है. एक तो है ये facts learn कर लेना. एक जो है समझना. There's difference.
Deep knowledge.
Deep understanding है. एक तो recite कर लिया हमने, जैसे वो पहाड़े होते हैं 2 times 2, 4 times 20 times backward.
That is data collection.
That's data collection. Or just learning this book, reciting this backward front. What does it mean? I didn't know the meaning of Kar Mantra until I was 30 something. When Sushil Maharaj gaye, he or his followers explained the first time to me. I mean, reciting the Kar Mantra since I was 4 years old. So, don't you think that is a problem? This is, I'm going back to Sadhvis, their role has to change dramatically. Perhaps it has changed, I don't know. But I still find in many people still keeping the same rote learning. Still here. My question when I said, why are we still not doing more research work and all this kind of thing? So my question is, I come from England. England ruled this country for more than 400 years ago.
Right.
You look at the English school system in this country. Everybody, Jain, non-Jain, want to send their children to English school, convent school.
Right.
When you look at the money donated, given by Jain for a small community, we become the top. When you look at the money wasted, and that's a waste, my view, sorry, I don't want to offend anybody, spent on new temples. Sadhu Maharaj, what they कहते हैं उसको?
Pomp and show.
हाँ जी, प्लस जो चतुर्मास होता है, क्या चक्कर है? हम क्यों नहीं एक स्कूल ऐसा बना सके जो कि क्रिश्चियन स्कूल को कॉम्पीट कर सके, उसी मॉडल को हम सारे कंट्री में लगा सके? ऐसे काम नहीं हमारे पास. क्यों हम इतने मंदिरों में लगा रहे हैं? क्यों हम इतने साधु संतों के चतुर्मास पे लगा रहे हैं, जो शादी करते हैं करोड़ों को लगा देते हैं, वेस्ट कर देते हैं। क्यों नहीं हम माइंडसेट करते हैं अरे सिंपल जियो, हमारा धर्म तो यही सिखाता है। हम कहते खुश हैं, करते खुश हैं, कहनी और करनी में फर्क होता है। तो उसमें रोल किसका है? मैं तो साधु महाराज को कहूँ, ऊपर बड़े बड़े प्लेटफॉर्म में जाकर लोग इधर आ रहे हैं, क्या मतलब रखता है? अपनी कम्युनिटी में भी कई लोग हैं जो कितने पुअर हैं, मगर वो किसी से मांग नहीं सकते शर्म से। हम क्या करते हैं? प्रवीण ऋषि महाराज जी, आपने सुना होगा, पता नहीं, वो क्या नाम है, सारकवासी शिवमुनि महाराज जी के यहाँ पर उनकी जो पहले शरण उनके, वो इस बात का काम कर रहे हैं, काफी कुछ कर रहे हैं। तो पहले जैन कम्युनिटी को करो है, हम मंदिर लगाकर हमारी कम्युनिटी कम होती जा रही है। मंदिर किसे काम आएंगे? एक यूनिवर्सिटी, हमारे पास एक अच्छी यूनिवर्सिटी नहीं है जहाँ पर लोग क्यों करें भी अंदर जाने के लिए। हमारे लोग कहाँ जाते हैं? हम स्कूल खोल देते हैं उसके लिए। क्या आप अपना बच्चा भेजोगे वहां पर? अगर नहीं भेजी तो स्कूल की वैल्यू कुछ नहीं है मेरे हिसाब से। क्यों नहीं करते? क्यों नहीं साधु महाराज कहते हैं एक अच्छा स्कूल बना लो, उसी मॉडल को फिर सब करें। क्रिश्चियन उसी बात से बताते हैं, तो उसका क्या इलाज होना चाहिए?
The intellectuals can plan about that. And then money people can support it.
लीड कहाँ से आए? अपने लोग इतने बिजनेसमैन हैं, they know how to do it, how to organize it. उनको डायरेक्शन देने वाला कौन होना चाहिए? वो साधु महाराज होना चाहिए। मैं जब भी जाता हूँ, किशन सागर जी हैं जिनका भी एक्सीडेंट हुआ था कुछ महीने पहले। किशन सागर जी क्या नाम है?
किशन मुनि,
किसी साहब ने अपने नहीं दिगंबर साहब ने,
दिगंबर के,
हाँ, अभी एक्सीडेंट हुआ था उनका। वो भी साइंटिफिक बहुत काम कर रहे हैं।
कनक नंदी
महाराज साहब, उनसे मेरी बात हुई पिछले साल। लोग क्या नाम यूं पर सेम सवाल थे मेरे, मानते थे बिल्कुल। तो मेरा ये रिक्वेस्ट है कि बहुत जल्दी करना चाहिए। और इतने सालों को लोग अब उनको बच्चे को कर, बच्चा आपके साथ चलेगा। अब नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन मेरा है महाराज, वो कुछ अपने रिचुअल है तो मुझे मालूम नहीं था। मैं सितंबर फैमिली से बिलोंग करता हूँ। मंदिर में आगे मेरी वाइफ स्थानिक वासी है। मैं तेरा पंथ से बहुत क्लोज हूँ ओवर रिसेंट ईयर्स, क्योंकि बेचारा तुलसी जी स्वामी जी को भेजते हैं, वेरी लर्नड एजुकेटेड, उनसे जो सवाल पूछो आज के बच्चे करते हैं। तो अब जब हमने दिगंबर मंदिर शुरू किया, उसमें जो रिचुअल होते हैं, अभिषेक करते हैं, वो उसके बारे में सवाल है। मैं फ्रेंड नहीं करना चाहता, तो आप प्लीज आपसे पूछना चाहता हूँ, कैन जैन लेडीज परफॉर्म अभिषेक for तीर्थंकर भगवान? Is there any evidence in Jain script to perform or not to perform?
Scriptural evidence,
हाँ, उसमें स्क्रिप्चर में कोई एविडेंस है कि आपको करना चाहिए या नहीं करना चाहिए?